Good evening, my microwaves and toaster ovens. My name is Halsifer, and welcome back to another Sketchbook Weekly. Whether you're new here or a familiar face, this is the series in which I draw stuff and talk, and perhaps you draw along with me. So, without further ado, let us get into our weekly recap. So, it's been a little bit of a hot minute since I uploaded one of these. My last upload was on the 27th, and I don't know if you noticed, but it is currently November 9th. I hope everyone had a fantastic Halloween. I've been quite busy over the last 2 or so weeks. I started a new job, and that has consumed pretty much every brain cell I have. That being said, here's what I've done in the last 2 or so weeks. A lot of these are just fun exploration pages. Then I have a bunch of abstract stuff and some just warm-ups that I did a little bit before this recording, just to kind of get myself in the headspace to draw again. Anyways, that is all we have for the weekly recap, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video. Today, like most days I sit down to do these videos, I had no fucking plan on what to do or what to draw for the video. I really haven't had time to think about it all week. It's been a struggle to do anything creative. So when I sat down to draw this, I just kind of let my pen hit the paper and go from there. Sometimes that's just how it goes, you know? You just gotta draw whatever comes to mind, whatever calls to you. So today is not gonna be anything flashy, it's not anything bombastic. It's not a full illustration or a full comic like I normally would. It's just a fun, simple profile character piece. That being said, I actually did have a comment on my last video that I am hugely appreciative of. Thank you so much for leaving this comment. I think it's a prevalent issue for a lot of artists, especially young artists. So shout out to Fern's Gardens for this question, and they are asking if I have any tips regarding just drawing in general and how to boost motivation. And I do have some tips for you, so buckle up. I myself am someone who struggles a lot with motivation and holding myself accountable to achieve my goals. I have what I lovingly refer to as commitment aversion, which means I start projects a lot and I then never finish them or never go back to them for some reason. Usually it's because I've lost motivation to work on it. So the first tip I'm going to give to you is set realistic goals. Don't bite off more than you can chew, and you have to know your own limit, right? And you have to set your bar super low, because if you set it too high, the disappointment of not being able to achieve that goal will kill your motivation to finish it altogether. And it's really important to make sure you know your limit, what you can do, and make sure your goals are realistic regarding that limit. A lot of people will come on here and tell you you need to draw every single day, and that is a really good piece of advice. A lot of people, they just need to sit down and do it every day. I tried doing it every day to keep a consistent sketchbook, and I got burnt out so fast, and I got so disappointed that I could not do a page every day that I just stopped drawing altogether for a while. Absolutely killed my creative motivation. Did not work out for me at all until I decided, okay, well, what if I just draw a couple times every week? And that has worked so much better for me in the long run because I feel no pressure to get things done, and it feels less like a chore and more like something I do for relaxing in my wind down time. So that is my first piece of advice, is to make sure you know your limit and set realistic goals. And if you're not quite sure what your limit is or what a realistic goal might look like for you, set your bar low. That way you can easily achieve the goal you have set, and for the next goal you can raise your expectations a little bit higher. Like, for instance, say you're writing a story and you're pretty certain that you can finish an entire chapter in a few days, but maybe give yourself a week to write it instead. That way it alleviates a lot of the pressure to get it done, but also spreads the work out a little bit over a longer period of time. But Hal, I hear you screaming in the comments, what about procrastination? What about people who struggle with procrastination? Do you have any ideas on how to alleviate that? And I'm just gonna say, I also struggle with procrastination a lot. I'm the biggest procrastinator that I know, and I unfortunately do not have any advice on how to alleviate that. The only thing that's kind of worked for me is making a set schedule and adhering to it. That's not really helped me a lot lately because life's just kind of been chaos, but usually I can adhere to a set schedule, and at some point I might, if anyone's interested, I can kind of go over how I do that and what I use and what my process is when it comes to making a schedule. But for the most part, if you procrastinate, I'm sorry, I'm in the trenches with you and I don't know the answer. Anyways, my next bit of advice for you is to make sure you keep having fun while drawing. Or creating in general, really. If you don't enjoy the act of creating, or give it the respect it deserves, then it will become a chore. And when it becomes a chore, then you will start to resent it. And resentment is one of the biggest killers of motivation. And it'll become painfully obvious to everyone else that you hate your craft. I think the methods on how to avoid this pitfall differs drastically between people, but for me, what works for me is every so often I will start playing with a different medium of art. Like, for instance, at the beginning of the summer, I was not super happy with where I was in my artistic progress. So I decided that I was going to try something new, and I picked up watercolor paintings. Specifically, I was painting buildings that I saw around me. This switch up has turned a process that would have been arduous and rather painful for me into something that is more fun and interesting, because at the end of it, I will have something that is just for me, something that I can hold, something that I painted. I mean, that doesn't work for everybody, but that is what has worked for me. The last tip I have for you, I promise I will stop rambling here soon, but the last tip I have is not an original idea of mine. It's something that I've heard floating around that I actually really agree with, and that is surround yourself with media that inspires you, right? Like, for me, that means having a rather carefully curated art-centric media feed, and I also make sure to watch most indie animation shows that are dropping or in continuation, no matter how much I like them. If I don't like a show, I will still watch it, because I want to have that well-rounded opinion on it, and I want to see what I think works and what I think doesn't work. And then I'll sit back and have a think about what the creator has done with their work, what I think they have done very well, what I think they have done poorly, and what I can learn from their mistakes. Because there is a lot to be learned in the indie scene, and I think that it is incredibly important to view the media that you enjoy with a critical eye. But that is enough rambling for today, as it appears we have completely finished up our drawing here. So here is the final piece. And I want again to thank Fern's Gardens for that comment on my last video. You have sparked a rather good discussion for this one, so thank you for that. I very much love discussion questions, so if anyone else has any other things that they would like to add, go ahead and do so in the comments of this video. What's your process? How do you avoid procrastination? And what are maybe some recent shows that you have found a lot of inspiration in? Let me know in the comments, and I will respond, because I respond every time. I love responding to comments, and you guys are great. If you've bore witness up until this point, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot, but that's the end of it. As always, my name has been Halcifer. I've been your entertainment for today, and you, hopefully, have been entertained. Thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!